Google Creative Lab, it's this whole idea of showing the magic within our products and showing the incredible things that they allow for users to do in this idea that we talk about, which is giving superpowers to others. And lastly, to remind the world what they love about Google. Sometimes we do get briefs, but the briefs are quite open. And I think that the marketing teams are kind of putting out, again, a provocation. They're saying, we kind of want to do this, and we're trying to get in front of these types of people. But it's so difficult, like, if you think about it, if you're so prescriptive up front, you know, and I love this sort of, this philosophy that these technology companies, especially Google, have, which is like launching early and iterating through the process, being in perpetual beta, and kind of creating something and letting it evolve over time or through the process. And it's just so much more interesting than getting something definitive up front, because sometimes we will go back to them and say, hey, that's cool, and we looked at that, but we also did this. And then they're like, wow, we didn't even think about it that way. And as I said, I showed something called Chrome Web Lab, and again, you know, to come back with a response for a browser that lives on a computer, which is a physical space at the Science Museum, and show how the browser is superior to other browsers by showing it control objects in a physical space, I'd like to think isn't a conventional response to a brief like that. I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up into the world, in the worlds that we live in, that, you know, are very tech, very Silicon Valley, very Western, and I think we need to make stuff for the people on the street, right? We need to remember that these are everyday people living somewhat difficult lives, and you need to have an understanding, but a shared understanding. You need to be empathetic to what people endure on a day-to-day basis, and you need to build your stories and your things around these people. I'm a huge, as I said, proponent of technology, and I think coding, especially for young people, can be an incredibly powerful tool. When you can see what a few lines of code on a screen could bring to life, like a robot or whatever, it's pretty magical. And I think of coding as what it is. I think it's a language, and it should be a language that people, not just kids, people learn all over the world alongside, you know, I learned French when I was growing up. I wish I learned Python or something like that. It's incredibly powerful. More and more things are happening, and they're being driven by code. And I think, you know, the idea that you can talk to a machine, you can instruct it to do certain things by understanding these languages is such a compelling and powerful proposition. I love this idea of creative collisions. I love the idea that you're going to bring people together from all over the world, from completely different backgrounds and completely different disciplines, and you're going to put them on projects that aren't necessarily core to their skills. There's a huge youth component to the Google Creative Lab, and the Google 5 is the internship program at Google, where we try to hire 5 of the brightest minds to spend 11 months with us and bring their enthusiasm, understanding of the world today, and everything that young people could bring to an organization like ours, and they are effectively our creative department. So we have 5 people passing through every 11 months, and it creates for an incredibly fresh and creative environment.